In diesem Video geht es um 10 Dinge, die du nicht über Neymar wusstest. Neymar Jr. Brasiliano Legend. 200 Millionen Euro Secret? Ja moin, ne? Hätte ich auch gern.
Football's most expensive transfer ever. And yet, he's already planning on retiring from football, all because of his side hustle. Even though he's been racking in $200 million deals.
Der Typ hat noch einen Nebenjob. Schön. Ja, Minijob wahrscheinlich. Ja, Pokerstars, Pokerspieler.
Thousands of dollars with a single hand. And it's all thanks to his luck at the casinos. On the table, Neymar's become so good at poker. He said he wants to quit football just to go pro. And not
das kann ich mir richtig gut vorstellen bei dem Kerl, aber er ist halt, wenn sich der einfach auf seine Fußballkarriere konzentrieren würde, wäre der so gut. Aber vielleicht macht es ihm nicht so viel Spaß.
But hey, at least this new hobby's making Neymar money. Because at our 9th spot, he wore something so illegal, it lost him over $100,000.
Weil es ein Haus des Geldes macht.
2014 World Cup, Neymar didn't just want to put on for his country. Being part of the most watched sports event of the year, he wanted to show everyone what he was packing. It was
aber es war auch eine richtig geile WM. Da war 22 Grad damals, 22, 23. Und das war schon heartbreaking, als er dann ausgefallen ist.
Neymar let him have it. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Because just 9 minutes later, Neymar capitalized again with his second goal.
Einfach Flair, der Typ.
Twice would be the competition's trending topic. Right? Well, we all know Neymar's a diva at heart. So at halftime, he decided to go stupid viral. He knew the cameras were flashing, so he literally flashed them right back. This man revealed himself, and the entire world saw his panties. But once the pics scattered all over social media, Neymar
der hat einfach eine Unterhosenwehr. Ja, da war irgendwas.
Put under an investigation because of an underwear violation. And this wasn't the first time Neymar repped something big under his shorts, so he was faced with a $125,000 $125.000 Strafe tut ihm halt nicht weh und ist für die Werbung sicher, zahlt sich sicher aus. Growing up in the struggle, Neymar didn't know any better. At a young age, he was blessed with the opportunity to play pro football for Santos. They took him under their wing, got him sponsorship deals.
Das ist sowieso so heftig eigentlich, wie viele da vielleicht jetzt nicht Multimillionäre sind, sondern einfach irgendwo noch in Brasilien in Armut irgendwie einen Job machen. Das ist extrem brutal in Brasilien oder generell in Südamerika oder ärmeren Regionen Europas.
But all along, Neymar wanted to play somewhere else so badly, he was willing to risk life behind bars. And in 2013, Neymar shocked the world when out of nowhere, he was transferred to Barcelona. Now,
out of nowhere? Naja, also da hat es schon deutliche Gespräche gegeben und der war 21, das
Neymar claimed he wanted to play there because of its legendary history, but Santos felt like Barcelona was actually manipulating
oder vielleicht,
so after the transfer was completed, Santos contacted FIFA and launched an all-out investigation. Not long after, Neymar began.
Santos, die haben doch richtig gut Kohle auch für Neymar damals bekommen. Ich weiß nicht wie viel, aber irgendwo so 40, 50, 60 Millionen waren es, glaube ich. 60. Und mit MSN.
So everyone should have been happy for Neymar's success, but Santos sat in the shadows, feeling like they got stabbed in the back. It turned out that when the transfer took place, on paper, Neymar was bought from Santos for $19 million. But behind the scenes, Barcelona made shady deals with Neymar's family to secretly send an extra $65 million.
Ja, drum, aber das ist so lange her, auf das hätte ich gar nicht mehr, aber Santos nur so wenig, aber ich glaube, der Deal war relativ teuer. Ja gut, das verstehe ich aber und das war ja bei Cristiano so, dass da mal irgendwie Ding gab, dass da nicht alles sauber war, bei Messi natürlich, bei Neymar, das ist ganz strange, dass da fließen so große Summen. Was hat seine Karriere denn jetzt? Das Einzige, was ich mir denken kann, ist, dass er immer im Februar oder im März nicht mehr da ist in der Champions League, weil seine Schwester Geburtstag hat. Nudelhair Neymar. Oh ja. Das war bei der WM. Das tut weh.
Neymar dropped his kicks for some clicks. To become a full-time Twitch
Streamer,
Once he started
natürlich.
playing games like Call of Duty and CSGO, he got so good at gaming. Some of his highlights racked up over 1 million views.
Ja, das hat natürlich damit zu tun, dass seine Highlights oder dass er so gut war und sicher nicht, dass im Titel Neymar Jr. Playing CSGO steht. Ja, ganz klar. Also kann schon sein, dass er gut war, aber trotzdem, das ist einfach.
I mean, we're talking about a grown-ass man who spent 40K on video game skins and a few years.
Ja, aber ist doch völlig wurscht. Bei dem spielt das spielt doch keine Rolle. Wie lustig sieht eigentlich Modric hier gerade in der Spiegelung aus. Und auch Kaká, what the fuck.
Years back, when it was time for football's most prestigious award ceremony, the world realized just how bad Neymar's addiction was.
Finde ich jetzt nicht so schlimm.
It was the 2018 Ballon d'Or, and all the top players got together to celebrate the year's lucky
Mbappé
award.
2018 schon dabei da.
Near the top of the ranks, showing up should have been a priority.
Ja, nix da. Ist nicht hingegangen und hat wahrscheinlich gezockt.
But instead, he felt something else was more important. Going viral. Dude was literally caught in 4K skipping the awards just to play COD. Well, Twitter thought it was hilarious, but to me,
ist okay.
it's actually concerning.
Ja klar, da sollst du schon zu der aber wenn er nicht gewonnen hat, ist ja auch seine Entscheidung, muss er damit leben? Keine Ahnung, ja, ist halt jetzt nicht so. Fühle ich schon, dass es nicht so geil ist,
aber it ain't in any of my workout routines. Trust me, I'm a professional. And I guess it explains why lately Neymar's become more injury prone than Derrick Rose. But hey, his addiction.
Aber ich verstehe sie. Ich sitze ja auch den ganzen Tag vor dem PC und ich stream halt nicht, aber mache halt andere Sachen. Aber ich bin halt auch kein Profisportler, der trainieren muss man auch dazu sagen.
Neymar's been ruining lives since he was born. See, Neymar grew up with his family in the worst conditions.
Das ist aber eine schwere Anschuldigung. Ich bin gespannt.
Electricity, and we're basically one mistake away from losing everything. But
stellt euch einfach mal vor, ihr könnt euch einfach kein Wasser und keinen Strom mehr leisten. Und das ist einfach so ein Balkon, hat mit Sicherheit überhaupt nichts zu tun. Das wird's in Deutschland, das wäre nicht erlaubt. Aber ein Fehler, von dem das alles weg ist, obwohl du eh nichts hast.
His dad forgot about the electricity.
Ja nicht.
And on the day it was due, he had to work. So even though Neymar was young, he had to be trusted with the money. And at first, he walked down the street and was cool with paying the bill. But all of a sudden, he saw a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Hat er sich einfach einen Sportwagen gekauft. Er wollte eigentlich die Stromrechnung bezahlen, aber seine Familie hat kein Geld. Er hat sich einen Sportwagen gekauft. Okay, er hat bei einem Gewinnspiel mitgemacht.
No way he was passing that up. He went in, bought a raffle ticket, and later that night, he could barely sleep. All he could think about was cruising down the street in his new whip until the next morning.
Und er hat keinen Führerschein.
He heard it. Neymar jumped out of bed, ran out his room, and there was Dad? Pissed as the electric company pulled up in their car, shut the power off. But hey, at least his dad eventually.
Ja, jetzt ein paar Jahre später ist es wahrscheinlich egal. Jetzt lacht man drüber, aber damals, das glaube ich, da hängen Schicksale dran, denn
got over it and the family was okay.
Leicht.
Now something Neymar will never get over is what happened in our number 5 spot. January 26th, 2020. PSG versus Lille. Neymar came into the heated matchup with the Mamba mentality and right from the jump, he started things off.
Ist er da ausgepfiffen worden? Aber also Lille hat ja die Meisterschaft geholt in dem Jahr.
Neymar was all smiles while PSG walked into halftime with a 1-0 lead. But once he got to the locker room and opened up his phone, he burst into tears. And nobody knew this, but behind the scenes.
Ist irgendwer. Oh, war das Spiel, wo Kobe Bryant?
These two were like brothers. They hung out, played sports. Hell, they even swapped jerseys. So when Neymar found out his boy passed away, he was heartbroken. But he knew the job wasn't finished. Neymar came out in the second half on a mission, and as soon as he got a penalty kick, not only did Neymar score another goal, he let the world know this one was for 24. And after the game, Neymar hit up his tattoo artist to make Kobe part of his life permanently, with a custom tat of his favorite Kobe.
Da spielt er ein bisschen Candy Crush daneben. Oh, schöne Story.
People don't understand how obsessed I am with winning. Damn, man. If Neymar did that for...
People don't understand how... Ja, weiß ich nicht, ob das die Aussage von Neymar ist, denn, ja, will ich ihm jetzt nicht unterstellen, aber manchmal laggt er schon so ein bisschen diese Mentality, dass er da wirklich gewinnen will. Andererseits, was habe ich gewonnen? Also.
Behind the scenes, Neymar was hurting, because after being transferred, he had the world's weight on his shoulder. The entire situation
Das war vielleicht ein bisschen zu viel insgesamt dann, ja. Also, ist immer noch eine Top-Karriere und der Kerl hat ausgesorgt für mehrere Generationen, aber trotzdem wäre noch mehr drin gewesen, denke ich. Mich würde sehr überraschen, wenn er da nochmal wirklich anzieht.
Neymar admitted, I was crying in the dressing room. I couldn't play my football. And in the moment I needed his support the most, the man of the team, the best in the world came, and he told me, you have to be the same lad you were at Santos. I'm here to help you. After that...
Es ist ein Teamsport. Man kann sagen, ja, es geht um Messi individuell oder Cristiano oder Neymar, aber es ist am Ende des Tages ein Teamsport. Und ich glaube, die haben auch alle irgendwo diese Team-Mentality drin, sonst wären sie nicht dahin gekommen, wo sie sind. Aber manchmal musst du halt eigensinnig auch sein.
When Neymar was just 4 months old, him and his family were driving up the mountains to visit some relatives. When out of nowhere, they were hit by a lethal storm. It got so bad, the family couldn't even see what was right in front of them. And then...
Einfach mal Vollgas drauf fahren.
Neymar's dad dislocated his hip and was hanging on for dear life. But then he realized Neymar was gone. So he jumped up, looked inside the car, outside the car, everywhere he could. Nothing. Until he heard crying. It was Neymar, and he was trapped underneath the driver's seat, covered in blood. So they
boah, das sind so Stories, die kennt man nicht und das
immediately called an ambulance and rushed him to the hospital. Neymar came face to face with death, and he wasn't even old enough to understand what was going on. After all,
Neymar hatte damals so heftige Augen schon und einfach sah irgendwie schon aus wie Neymar.
The entire situation wasn't even his fault. Just like the time Neymar almost got a football player assassinated. Yeah. At our number 2 spot, Thiago Mendes made the biggest mistake of his life, and he was about to find out the hard way. During extra time of a PSG Lion matchup, Neymar was trying to fight.
Irgendwie Fans oder so dann vielleicht, aber das,
spark his team some momentum.
Da bin ich jetzt gespannt.
Right as he dribbled, Thiago tripped Neymar, and he was finished. Even though it looked painful, everyone thought Neymar was doing what he does best, flopping worse than James Harden. When team officials surrounded Neymar and he was eventually stretchered off,
aber wenn er mit der Trage runtergebracht wird, dann weißt du, da hat Neymar mal nicht simuliert.
Social media went into a frenzy, thinking Thiago injured PSG's golden boy on purpose. But the scariest part of it all wasn't the yellow card of the Twitter fingers, it was the trigger fingers. Cause after the match, Thiago's girl let the world know, Neymar fans were telling her things like, for your boyfriend's actions, you'll pay with your life. You and your family, one by one.
Stellt euch einfach mal vor, ihr seid so krank, dass ihr sowas, und vielleicht wenn es aus Spaß ist, ja, haha, sehr, sehr lustig, so eine Drohung irgendwo hinschreibt oder einfach das so ernst nehmt, dass ihr sowas machen würdet. Völlig geistesgestört. Völlig geistesgestört. Also.
But even though Thiago and his family were living every day in fear, Neymar's injury eventually came back negative, so Thiago got let off the hook. I mean, that mistake could have lost them everything. Like at number 1, cause Neymar's mistake.
Das wäre, stellt euch vor, ihr werdet einfach. Nee.
Literally lost the company billions. With the entire world's eyes on the 2014 World Cup, Sony secured the deal of a lifetime to become the official headphones of football for $280 million. So people made sure players wearing any other brand were banned. And just to make sure players followed the rules, Sony gave free headphones to every single team. But
ja, Mann, stellt euch vor, 280 Millionen, da hören sich gratis Kopfhörer für jede Mannschaft schon gar nicht mehr so schlimm an. Also, was hat Neymar gemacht?
It didn't take long for players to pull up to arenas and go through their pre-game routines to realize these headphones were ass. And once word started spreading about just how shitty these headphones really were, players knew they had to stand up for what they believed in. And we all know Neymar, man. He ain't one to bitch out.
Kommt einfach mit Dr. Dre rein, oder was?
A few weeks before, he'd just gotten fined over $100,000. He figured, shit. Why not $1 billion? Neymar literally contacted Beats by Dre, filmed a
ist wirklich mit Beats hingegangen, ich glaub's nicht.
Commercial and debuted it during the World Cup. Over 34 million views later, Neymar single-handedly slapped Sony in the face. And once the world found out Sony's headphones were nothing compared to Beats, the company dropped $1.7 billion in value. Like, bro, do you
ja gut, das hängt nicht immer miteinander zusammen, war auch bei Coca-Cola damals und Cristiano, das ist nicht so, dass so ein Spieler so einen Einfluss darauf hat, da muss man ein bisschen runter vom Gas, aber trotzdem.
$12 million cars, $14 million mansions. Wait,
Geiles Haus, geiles Auto.
Yeah, I know you want to hear more about that. Just click this video
Oh, das sind gar nicht die von Neymar. Das sind, okay, das sind die von Neymar. Ja, können wir uns auch anschauen, die 10 teuersten Items, die er hat. Aber jetzt guck gerne noch das Video hier, wird dir auch gefallen und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal.